Apparently, Trump's son went up to Biden at the inauguration and said, "It's on now."
So when he leans into Biden here, he says, "It's on."
There's a moment where he goes up to Biden and Biden looks confused and he doesn't smile. He's like, eh. But he walks up and goes, "It's on now."
He goes up to Melania. She says, "Try to be nice." See? And he says, "Okay."
I think they tried to put his dad in jail. He wants to kill that guy. That's what I think. Imagine your dad's getting that close to put in jail for the rest of his life. Like, if he got put in jail for 25 to life, he's dead. He's dead. He dies in jail.
And then he turns back and looks back at Biden.
How crazy is it that the left are the ones who are painting swastikas on cars? The left is upset that we're not continuing an endless war in Ukraine. The left is upset that this guy is uncovering fraud and waste. And so in order to stop that, you must light cars on fire because he's a Nazi. Because he said, "My heart goes out to you." Even though there's countless videos of AOC doing that gesture, Tim Walz doing that gesture enthusiastically, many people.
And then when she held a hearing, said, "Where'd the $12 billion go?" They didn't know.
Talking to those guys, and you have a great team from all over the country. You don't have to be here. You don't have to be here. You know, there's now been these many cases of violence and vandalism at Tesla dealerships. How does that affect your employees, your customers? What does it mean to you? Like, how have you taken that in?
Well, I think a great wrong is being done to the people of Tesla and to our customers. Tesla is a peaceful company that has made great cars, great products. That's all it's done. Hasn't harmed anyone. And yet people are committing violence. They're firebombing Tesla dealerships. They're shooting guns into stores. They're threatening people. They're issuing death threats against me and other Tesla personnel. What are they doing this for? Why? And what's happening, it seems to me, is they're being fed propaganda by the far left. And they believe it. It's really unfortunate. But the real problem is not the people. It's not like the crazy guy that firebombs a Tesla dealership. It's the people pushing the propaganda that caused that guy to do it. Those are the real villains here, and we're going to go after them. And the president's made it clear we're going to go after them. The ones providing the money, the ones pushing the lies and propaganda. We're going after them.
And it's been this evolution. I mean, the last administration was going to mandate electric vehicles, and now you see on the far left some efforts to go after electric vehicles. It's quite something.
It is ironic. I mean, it seems like the most ironic outcome is the most likely. But, yeah, I mean...
Personally, it's got to take a toll.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
And we are going to go after them. Straight out of Elon's mouth. Wow. It's getting spicy out there. Can you guys feel it? Can you sense it? It's all coming together. It's all part of the plan. What a wild week, a wild nation since Trump got back in. It's only ramping up. So welcome to the Ace Report. Tonight, we're going to go through Elon's interview with Bret Baier, which was excellent, with Doge and all the fraud they are exposing, how more and more is coming to the surface. We're also going to talk about the SEC, Paul Atkins, chairman, his hearing today, how it went, what I expect to come from that, and then just a whole lot of other things that just are creeping to the surface. You have to be paying attention to catch these things, but it is just more and more proof that there is so much going on behind the scenes. And so if you're impatient, don't be, because trust me, things are happening. They are about to bring justice. It's getting spicy, folks. It's getting spicy. If you saw that clip at the beginning with Barron and Biden, Melania, whew, I tell you, we are in for a wild wild 3 more years. In fact, it's almost 4 more years. You guys realize Trump's only been in office for 2 months and a week, and all this has already happened? We still have 3 more years and 10 more months. Woo! I'm excited. But first, let's say hey to everybody here. By the way, Moose Knuckle with the super chat to start it off. Got an offer for his dream job today. Mason Moose Knuckle. Alan, congratulations, my friend. I'm so happy for you. And thank you for always being a great supporter of the show. And everybody else, please like and subscribe. Let's say hey to some people. John Croissant. Good evening, sir. Wago Waco, Kasink, US1, Randy Lochtefeld, Alan Krentz. I hope you're feeling better today. Alan Butters, Hobbs, Joe Scarpaggia, Chad Yunkin, Steve Bernard, Pat Shagoya, Darren Collins, Troy Mann, Kimberly P., Cindy Luhu, Husker Power, Stony Bones, Kim Wiley, Zach Butterfeld, CBT, Trainer, Scott Falkovich, the money. So now what? Says G-Bucks is looking and sounding good. It is really good right now. Frank Anastasio, Bird, Gary Douche, likes the Ace Report as a nightcap. I love it. Shogun, Randy Lochtefeld, Lock Up, Honey Badger. Good to see you all tonight. Oh, man. Brett Montgomery, Dar Daddy, Media Junkie. Kit is in the house. Gary Ball, Arnolfo. What's up, brother? Old man says things are getting hot. Matt is alive. Said I did electrical work a few years ago. When people found out I was not a real electrician, they were shocked. Well done. Well done. Shay Lynn says they want to do anything to these people. They won't. I guess you're saying they won't do anything to these people. Sick of hearing. I disagree completely. You can see the fury in Elon's eyes, and he is friends with the most powerful man in the world now. Big B, what is up, brother? All right, let's get started because I got a lot to cover tonight. So first, we're going to start breaking down some of the highlights from this interview. It was an excellent interview. I highly recommend watching the whole thing, but we're going to catch some of these tidbits because I want you guys to see just how crazy things are. Now, you guys probably already know some of it. You're smart people. You watch this channel, so at least you got, you're getting something. You're getting some good stuff. And I know other than that, you guys are also brilliant. You're always sharing stuff with me. I love it. But there's always the chance to learn more. And this about the Social Security Administration is a wild discovery by Doge. By the way, the Doge team tonight looking very professional. Not a bunch of 19-year-olds, as the media tried to tell us. Now, these are professionals doing the work. So let's get into it.
We learned 40% of the phone calls that they get are from fraudsters.
40%.
That's right. Almost half.
Yes, and they steal people's Social Security is what happens. Is they call in, they say they claim to be a retiree, then they convince the Social Security person on the phone to change where the money's flowing. It actually goes to some fraudster. This is happening all day, every day, and then somebody doesn't receive their Social Security. It's because of all the fraud loopholes in the Social Security system.
How do you reassure people that what you...
As a result of the work of Doge, legitimate recipients of Social Security will receive more money, not less money.
All right.
I want to emphasize that point and let the record show that I said this, and it will be proven out to be true. Let's check back on this in the future.
So Washington Post, the Social Security Administration website crashed 4 times in 10 days this month because the servers were over.
Do you guys hear that? 40%. 40% of the calls to the Social Security offices are fraudulent. And you wonder why they are getting so loud and obnoxious about Elon looking into this, claiming with no evidence whatsoever that they're trying to stop Social Security. They're trying to cut it back. No, they're scared of their honeypot getting taken away. Elon says at one point in the interview, it's the loudest people who are often the ones you got to look out for, that are the ones complaining the most are the problem. 40%. I have a feeling, we were all raised to believe that Social Security, that Medicaid, all that stuff. We don't even touch it. We don't look at it. We let it do its thing as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And we're just told that no, that one's perfectly run. That is the one and two things that just you can't even ask the government to take a look at, because we know the government, we do make a lot of mistakes, but there's 2 or 3 things the government does perfect that we just don't look at. And those perfect things are we do Social Security, we do Medicaid, and we do military. We don't look at those. You don't even want to look at those. You especially don't touch those big entitlements. In fact, don't even call them entitlements. We're going to say that you paid into it, so you deserve it. That's yours. So brainwashing an entire generation of older people to believe that they're actually just getting their money back, which is insanely stupid. And it's easily disproven by the math. But we created entitlement. And I knew great older people, wonderful people. I love these people, friends of mine, family of mine, just good people. A lot of them even conservatives. And they would tell me when it was talking about Social Security, no, that's not an entitlement. That's what I paid into. Well, fine, you did. We all did. We all pay taxes in general. Technically, even welfare we all paid into. Okay, so it's a fallacy of an argument. But the other point of it is that it is an entitlement, because guess what? You paid into it, but other people are subsidizing it. In fact, when Social Security started, 15 people paid for every one recipient. Today, 2 people pay for every one recipient, and most of liability is unfunded. So they tell us all this. They brainwash us to think like you don't touch those. You don't even look at them. So when Elon goes after it, now think about this. When Elon goes after it, they all freak out. So think about this. Why would they spend all those decades telling us that it's done perfect? Well, we just went along with it. We trusted our government. We trusted our institutions at one point. And now it's pretty clear, as we finally have somebody looking into it, Social Security is, as many people have called it, a Ponzi scheme. Yes, it's a Ponzi scheme that many people are going to continue collecting and should continue collecting. They were promised it. I don't have a problem with that, actually. What I do have a problem with is the idea that it cannot be reformed, the idea that it cannot be cleaned up, the idea that there's nothing wrong with it. That is just insanely stupid. And what we're finding is that it's a complete and utter mess. And that's what happens when you don't look at free money. Well, free money, not free money, but a complete flow of money nonstop being taken from people that they can't control. None of us, even those of us who don't pay, even those of us Americans who don't pay federal income tax because you have so many kids or your income's at a certain level, you still are paying those payroll taxes. You're still losing 7.5% to 8% of your paycheck every week because you don't get a say on Social Security and Medicaid. You don't. It's coming out no matter what. And so that is just nonstop money being funneled in there. And we're finding out mostly fraudulent. Now, we've already talked about what went to the illegals and stuff. We covered that in other lives. But now they're going into Social Security. The Democrats are freaking out, and they're finding out it's a massive mountain of fraud. So it makes you wonder. Now, they're not going to let Elon cut much. Trust me on that one. They're not. But what we can hope is that it becomes so obvious that there's so much exposure that Congress actually gets some balls and decides to get into it and actually do what needs to be done, which I don't know what they'll save. Who knows? What is it? $1.5 trillion a year, Social Security, $1.2 trillion a year, somewhere in that range. How much of it is fraudulent? Is it $50 billion? Is it $500 billion? We don't know. I don't care. Whatever it is, cut it out because it needs to be gone. We need to fix this deficit issue. So let's see if they actually get into any of that. Alan says, I've seen bipolar people getting Social Security disability. So when I get mad, is that also me being bipolar? Well, it is. If you go to a therapist and get diagnosed, that's all you got to do. You just got to say, I get mad a lot and I can't control it. and they'll write you a prescription for disability. I'm dead serious. It's that easy a lot of the times. Moose with the super chat says Ponzi schemes are only legal if ran by the government. Now that's very true. That's absolutely true. Brett Wright says Social Security to me has always been a Ponzi scheme. That'll never pay off to pay $727 a month and get back $240 a month. It's not a good deal. I agree. 100%. Absolutely. The emptiest wagon's usually the loudest, says Kit. I agree. So now what? I've heard there's going to be a serious increase for Social Security years ago. Now look what Elon said, an increase. Well, that's the deal, isn't it? If we clean it up, maybe they won't have to withhold as much as far as actual benefits again. So it's crazy. Look, at Social Security is not going to be there for me if it's on its current trajectory. It's not going to be there for my entire generation. Honestly, none of us expect it to be. We're done. We don't expect it to be. We can't get out of these taxes. So, I would much rather go into some kind of fund that maybe just dollar for dollar, just take my dollars and put them in a fund, which is still stupid, but I get why they would do it because, a lot of people don't think ahead for their retirement. So fine. If you're going to do that to me, just let me keep my dollars, put it in an investment fund where I can at least have some control over what the investments are in. That way, at least I have a better shot at having something at the end and maybe even making some back. But that's not how it's going to go. Eric B writes, AMC has a better return than Social Security. Now that's sadly probably true. All right, let's go through more of this interview. This one I'll talk about it when it's over, but this just blew my mind. This is crazy.
We routinely encounter wastes of $1 billion or more, casually. For example, like the simple survey that was literally 10-question survey that you could do with SurveyMonkey, cost you about $10,000. The government was being charged almost $1 billion for that.
For just the survey?
$1 billion for a simple online survey. Do you like the national park? And then there appeared to be no feedback loop for what would be done with that survey. So the survey would just go to nothing.
Did you guys hear what he just said? An online survey, a 10-question online survey about national parks. The government paid $1 billion, $1 billion for it to be ran. I don't know how many of you guys deal with online stuff, if any of you. I'm in marketing. Okay, that's my job. I do this for a living. I create surveys all the time. Do you know how difficult it is nowadays with modern websites, even if it's not a great website? If you just go to MailChimp or whatever, any CRM, you can create a 10-question online survey with somebody who knows what they're doing. It takes about, I'm going to be generous here. I'm going to be really generous here. Okay. Like, this is the best survey anybody's ever created. The whole team has agreed on all the questions. You put it all together. You brainstorm it. You come up with a beautiful graphic. Okay. You do all that with all today's tools, AI, everything. That survey might take with the whole team working on it, 3 hours, maybe, if you're really dragging your feet. Personally, I could create a great survey in an hour by myself. That's what we're talking about. An online survey. They weren't printing it out. They weren't sending it out. They didn't create a video, and they paid $1 billion for this. This is how we are money laundering to friends of the government, friends of the bureaucracy, friends of the politicians. This is how you money launder. $1 billion for an online survey. That is insane. Personally, Elon, I'll do it for $1 million. Hit me up. I'm really good at this stuff. Hit me up. I'll do it for No, let's say, $1 billion I'll do 10 million. 10 million, give me 10 million. I'll come up with a way better survey. I'm serious. That is insane. That's insane. But hey, it never ends there. Here's another fun one from the interview tonight.
You've got overstaffing. A good example of overstaffing would be the IRS has got 1,400 people who are dedicated to provisioning laptops and cell phones. So if you join the IRS, you get a laptop and a cell phone, you're provisioned. So if each of those IRS officers or employees provisioned 2 employees per day, you could provision the entire IRS in a little more than a month. So 12 times a year, you can re-provision.
Why would you have 1,400 people whose only job it is to give out a laptop and a phone?
Right. The whole IRS could be handled once a month. So that doesn't make any sense. You've got overstaffing.
1,400 people at the IRS. Their entire job is to hand you your phone and your laptop. Oh, this is insane. This is so crazy what they are finding. And now this is on Fox News. Thank God it's not just being, posted out there on Twitter, because then, everybody's like, oh, that's not true. Validate it to me. No, this is out there to the millions. They can watch it. It's on YouTube. Twitter was sharing the whole interview. It's great. This is being watched by so many people. People are going to hear this. It's exposing it. But this is just, it's insanity. You and I knew this. You and I knew a lot of this stuff was going on. We didn't know the details, but we knew it. We believed it. Now it's getting out to the people. But 1,400 people doing something my teenagers could do, just walking up to people, getting that. They're like the guy in Office Space. I wish I could remember his name here, where they're like, what exactly do you do here? And he's like, well, I'm good with people. I talk to the people, I get the report, and I take it to the IT guys because they're not good with people. And they're like, well, why can't they just take it to the IT guys? What is wrong with you people? Don't you know I'm good with people? And that's his whole job. And he's freaking out because they're there to axe him. That's who these people are. That is our government. Elon is the Bobs. He is going in and he is cutting it. And they're saying, what are you talking about? There's a problem here. Now, the Democrats are going nuts on this, and some Republicans here and there, but the Republicans, even the deep state Republicans, even the uniparty Republicans, they're being quiet for the most part. Because you know why? Because they know if they say anything, it's going to come back to bite them. They will lose their base. They can't afford to speak up. So even though they're in on it, they're being quiet for the most part. But the Democrats, man, they are freaking out over this stuff. This is how they take care of it. Their people. This is how they make the handshake deals. And this is why Kamala Harris gets $1.5 billion to spend on her campaign when you and I are lied to by Democrats in the media every single day, saying the Republicans are the party of the rich. Meanwhile, Kamala has twice as many billionaires funneling money into her coffers for an election where she's there 3 months running. Twice as many billionaires paying for her election over Trump. They spent twice, maybe 3 times as much money as Trump did on his campaign. This is why they do it, because they know on the other side of it, you're getting $1 billion for a freaking survey. And that is how it all comes back to them. That's where your $100 million investment pays off, because you just got $1 billion for a survey. That's how this works. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Mason Allen, Moose Knuckle with the 5 memberships. Thank you, Moose. I appreciate the support. Gary Ball is back in. Corey Jones, Gretchen Rutherford, welcome into the membership, guys. You guys can now go back and watch last night's Members Live, which was really fun. Had a great time. And be sure to join the Discord. It's a great way to support the channel. So thank you guys for that. Eric B says, where did that billion end up? Well, who knows? Hero says a lot ends up in Act Blue. I believe that. Jeremy Bodel, how are you doing tonight, my friend? The interview was great, Bird. Absolutely. And welcome to the membership, Bird. Kira Nova, what's up, man? Big JR says, I saw the 40% of Social Security. JR, I already covered it, man. You're late to the party. That was a clip I played 10 minutes ago. Come on, man. Come on, man. I expect more from my moderators. You're good, buddy. Yeah, the jump to conclusions guy. A jump to conclusions, man. It was a mat that had different conclusions that you could jump to on it. It's a terrible idea. God, I love that guy so much. So this stuff is crazy. I highly recommend watching the whole interview. It will kind of gobsmack you a little bit. The stuff they expose is nuts. And then I wanted to play one last clip from it. There's a lot of good stuff in it. Again, go watch it. But I wanted to play this last clip just to show you kind of the face of who Doge is, because these guys they're a lot more than the kids that we were told are run Doge, the big balls, so to speak.
Do you guys all see this as a patriotic duty? I mean, is that really what this is about?
It's essential.
Very much
I
so.
do, 100%. I was running 5 businesses in Houston, and I left that. I left great people to do this, and my wonderful wife said, "Go for it," and here I am. But I feel like this is me giving back to the country.
If we don't do this, we're sunk. The ship, unless this exercise is successful, the ship of America will sink. That's why we're doing it.
And do you guys all?
I mean, that guy came running 5 businesses in Houston to become a part of Doge. You can hear it in Elon's voice too. I mean, if we don't do this, the ship is sunk. They mean what they're talking about. This is passion. This is amazing. And just think about this: the richest man in the world is with multiple companies. One of his companies is the leftists are trying to burn it down to the ground. Just sick stuff. His reputation is being destroyed across the world and in an entire half of America. And this guy, he's constantly running up against walls and making progress. The Democrats are trying to tear him down. I'm sure they're going to try to investigate him. They're gonna, he might face indictments of some sort. They're gonna just ream this man, especially if they ever get back into power, God forbid. And yet he's still doing it. It's incredible. And, for all the Elon's imperfections, everything, I gotta say, I so admire what he's doing for our country. And I admire what these men and women are doing on this Doge team. It's incredible. It's incredible. And again, this is just all part of it. This is all part of the reason we brought Trump in. It wasn't just to reform everything. We want that, of course, but it's also to tell us what we all deeply knew, that we have a fundamentally flawed governmental system. It's such a mess, and we need it to be exposed. We want everybody else to wake up, and then we want to deal with the issues, including when it's people. So again, please go watch that interview. It's fantastic. I love every second of it. So good. Let's see here. A couple questions here. Was it Tom Smykowski? Here, hold on a second. I got some for you guys. If it lets me. Yeah. Okay. I can't play this whole clip because YouTube will bust me. But we gotta watch it. We gotta watch a second. This is the guys that are getting fired by Doge. This is the 1,400 IRS agents handing stuff out.
Is you take the specifications from the customers and you bring them down to the software engineers.
Yes, that's right. Well, then I just have to ask, why couldn't the customers just take them directly to the software people? Huh?
I'll tell you why.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because engineers are not good at dealing with customers.
So you physically
take them? Well, no. I have a secretary who does that. Let's get to the part where he freaks out. Hey, IRS person handing out phones and computers. What exactly do you do here?
Look, I already told you. I deal with the goddamn customers so the engineers don't have to. I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
Oh, it never gets old. Just one of the greatest clips from one of the greatest movies of all time. And I'll have words with anybody who says otherwise, my friends. I'm sorry. Moose again with another super chat says, do I see Doug Collins destroy Caitlin Collins? No, I didn't. I saw Trump destroy her the other day. It's just unbelievable. US One says a game has been played. Trump could preemptively pardon everyone. It's a thought now that Biden's gone ahead and done that. That is an interesting thought for sure. All right. I want to play just on the mode. Tonight's theme really is about exposure and then the justice that's coming already starting as things get more and more exposed as they're moving behind the scenes. Glenn Beck, of all people, did this amazing segment today on the JFK assassination, what's coming out from that, from the files and everything else. So I want you guys to listen to Glenn here.
We've got the theory just there that LBJ was involved. What was his motive for involvement? And is there any proof whatsoever? Well, I saw something from Alex Jones. He featured a guest that claimed to have some proof, never before heard audio of a conversation between close associates of LBJ. Listen to this.
Well, Saul, it's been a pretty touch and go situation. Linda and I have had quite a few unpleasant words here lately over the deal with that he hired Mike Wallace to assassinate the president. It's been hectic in every way, but we've lived through it this far, and I guess we'll continue to do so. Lyndon should have never issued that order to Mike, but we've had our differences, and I'm a true blue to Lyndon, as I've always been, and tried to carry out every order that he'd ever given me. But this is one I'll probably never be able to forget.
We wanted to see the actual.
Wow. I mean, that's wild stuff. Now we've already seen all the documents and guys, I covered them as much as I could. There's still more trickling out, but the fact is that we've seen enough now to know there was 2 shooters. The CIA was almost 100% behind it in some way, shape, or form. There were ties to Israel, MK Ultra. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And as that keeps going, as that keeps being exposed, remember, that's the tip of the iceberg. Like, this is the stuff we've been wondering for decades. Some people knew it because they'd done so much research. The rest of us were either knew some of it or just knew it was shady, but wanted more details, wanted more official documents, more official evidence. And we got it. We got it. And now we don't have like the smoking gun, but there's enough out there now. It's so stinking obvious. And this is the beginning. It's trickling out. Okay. So it's JFK one day, it's MLK the next, it's RFK, the senior the next day, it's JFK Jr. next, it's 9/11. It's going to keep going. And Trump just declassified Crossfire Hurricane, which was the investigation into him with Russia. So we're going to be getting all of those documents soon. Trump was talking to Alex Jones about the election 2020, declassifying all those documents. So stuff is going to get wild. It's getting very spicy, but it takes time. And for all those who think like we're just not doing anything, or Trump is like, it was very easy to get frustrated when the Epstein files went down the way they did, at least that first batch. It was very easy to get frustrated. I totally understand it. But when you think everything I just said, just think about all that. And then think about all the cleanup that has to go on right now in our nation, what's happening. And you have Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and their teams and other teams around them. You got DNI, all Tulsi Gabbard, all this stuff, all this justice, all this mess they're cleaning up. And it's not just the mess of the last 4 years. It's the mess of the last 40. It's the mess of the last 60, 70, 80 years. That is all having being dealt with all at once. And I gotta say, it might feel frustrating that we don't get the couple of things we want right now, whether it's Epstein, whether it's cleaning up the SEC and markets immediately. But I'm telling you, like, this has been going on. Trump started this in his first term, the beginning of it. And it's just been unraveling ever since. And we needed those other 4 years of Biden for whatever reason. Someday we'll understand even more. But first of all, we did get a much better team. So I think we almost all agree at this point. I think I ran the poll not too long ago, and like 97% of my audience agreed that the last 4 years, as sucky as they were worth it to get what we have now. But it takes time and it's unwinding. But guess what? I believe we are at the tail of that. We're starting to get to the end where a lot more exposure is going to happen. Here's a great video clip of somebody breaking down a lot of the things we forget happened under the first Trump administration, which gives a clue of what we can expect coming up.
Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, Nexium, Backpage. And I think there's a lot of other things Trump did his first term that we will learn about soon.
I think you're right. And then Bieber just posted, I think on his Instagram, right, the picture of the shipping containers, and on the very bottom he photoshopped a very dimly lit like baby. So it does seem like he's trying to, create buzz around these topics again, like it's getting ready to break.
Yes, which is great because we know that kids are trafficked in shipping containers. That's very common. Unfortunately, they're trafficked at these ports in literal shipping containers in the most horrific conditions you can imagine. I'll spare you the details because it'll make you throw up. And that's common, not just here, but all over the world, unfortunately. And where's Diddy's Miami mansion? It's
by the shipping port.
It's just right by the shipping
right
port.
Across the road, basically.
Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Wild stuff. So they're talking about all the stuff the Trump administration did in the first term that combated all the trafficking, all the behind the scenes stuff, the things I was talking about 2 nights ago on the show, just the horrors that go on in the elite circles. That Trump dealt with a lot of that in the first term. And then, of course, the Biden administration opened up floodgates and just really started ramping up a lot of that stuff again. But it showed you the beginnings of it and the exposure it started. And so a lot more people are going to be ready as this stuff starts breaking out. Now, I saw a great comment I want to address right here from US Tahoe right here. Says, wonder if a strategy is not to arrest and charge until just before the midterms. Talk about causing havoc for those running for office. And that could be possible. The other possibility is that they're just waiting for some of these cases like Ghislaine's, Maxwell's, which is starting, I believe, next month, till those settle down. Or it's also possible they just have a crap ton of documents that they weren't really able to get into in the first term, and now they're finally getting into those. Remember the first term, the deep state was fighting Trump the whole time. He was fighting his own party. He was fighting his own cabinet half the time. And so this time is much, much different. So just we have no idea what they dealt with that first term, but things are improving. Okay. And more is coming. And here's some proof. Today, this was a big deal, a big BFD, big effing deal. What Bondi and Cash pulled off today. I don't know if you guys all saw this, but they caught a major MS-13 leader.
We have been out since about 4:30 this morning. The great men and women of law enforcement have been working on this operation for days and days and probably weeks. Early this morning, one of the top leaders of MS-13 was apprehended. He was the leader for the East Coast, one of the top 3 in the entire country. Right here in Virginia, living half an hour outside of Washington, D.C. He is an illegal alien from El Salvador, and he will not be living in our country much longer.
Think of the boldness and the lack of fear that he was living only half an hour away from DC, half an hour away from the FBI, from the DOJ. That's nuts. That's nuts. And he was running the operations for MS-13, which MS-13 is the worst of the worst. We're talking about one of the most unimaginable. If you guys have ever researched anything on MS-13, they are disgusting. They are scum of the earth. Once somebody joins MS-13, they basically become less than human in my mind. They are horrific people. They are the ones that Trump in the first administration called animals, and then he got blasted as racist for not liking immigrants. He was talking about MS-13 because of the way they do stuff, the way they attack innocents. It's horrific. And so Pam Bondi and Cash caught one of them today. And this is after Cash in his first month has already gotten the top 10 most wanted in the FBI list. He cleared them all out.
He's in custody this morning. One of the top leaders right here near our nation's capital. I just cannot thank Governor Youngkin enough for his leadership in this effort. This has been a joint effort.
So we're seeing, she mentioned Youngkin as well. We're seeing all these people that have been getting into place. Youngkin became governor of Virginia in 2021, right after the 2020 election. It was this shock to the world that he got elected governor of Virginia as a pretty Trumpy Republican. And but now, think about that. It was in his state, and for the last 3 years wasn't able to get it done. But then within 2 months of the Trump administration coming in, they catch this guy. How much was think about how much was the DOJ under Biden and the FBI under Biden just enabling criminals in general? It's just so sick. Here's Cash's statement on it. And then I got some other cool stuff about this today and why it's such a big deal.
This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. And we're going to continue to let good cops be cops across this country. President Trump gave us the executive decision to go after and safeguard our communities. General Bondi is our warrior of justice leading that charge. Governor Youngkin, it's an honor to be a partner in this operation with you and U.S. Attorney Siebert. This is the mandate we have. Right now we have an American dying every 7 minutes from a drug overdose. That is a national security crisis we have not seen ever before. We have a woman or child being raped every 6.5 minutes in this country. We have a homicide twice an hour. No part of that metric is a safe and secure America. But thanks to the brave leadership of this administration and the folks that you see here, we are returning our communities to safety. As you heard, we took down this morning a top leader of MS-13. That is not done easily. That is done with brilliant law enforcement. And right here, I'm proud, and I think the governor knows I'm biased, having graduated from the University of Richmond, to have this here in the state of Virginia, here in our Northern Virginia resident agency, with our partnership with our Washington field office and our special agents, our SOS folks, our intel analysts, and our support staff. My priority has been law enforcement across the country, and that will not change. But law enforcement across the country cannot be done just by Washington, D.C. and the federal government alone. This task force was stood up 1 month ago. In 1 month, the brave men and women on this task force from state, local, and federal authorities have arrested 342 criminals in the state of Virginia alone. We wanted this to be a successful model. It is a successful model because of you, because of your men and women on the streets. We have the easy job in Washington, D.C.
All right, real quick. Can we just talk about how tough Cash looks? My God. I mean, I know the dude's short. Okay. I'm not going to hold it against him, but what a badass. Look at this, the hat, the hoodie, the jacket. This man looks sick. He looks like business. I love it. Cash is awesome. He's freaking awesome. And what a leader. I mean, people said, and this is the craziest thing, and I heard this today, Democrats are trying to use this all over the place in media because they're still talking about the stupid signal thing that no regular voter really cares about. they're out there saying this is what happens when you pick loyalty over people who are qualified for these positions. Are you kidding me? Cash is running the FBI like it's supposed to be run. We're actually catching criminals, and not just people on the street. We're catching the major ones, which makes you wonder, because catching like the heads of crime syndicates, whatever, it's not easy. It's not easy. It takes time, it takes investigation, it takes setting it up, because you're going to have to run a case against them. Maybe that this guy, because he's illegal, but like that top 10 list, that takes time. So to move this fast tells you that they already had everything they needed to catch them, which means the FBI must have been monitoring these guys for the last several years and not doing anything about it. That, my friends, is sick. That is sick. And that is who has been running our government. Now, I want to show you. Now, there's just some interesting stuff here. And listen, I don't usually go too much into Q stuff because I don't always know exactly how I feel about it. But this is very interesting. So this guy showing this has dropped 342. The end is near, because he's talked about 342 MS-13 members. And then right here, you just have this end is near right there. That was drop 342. If I could get that stupid Pinterest thing to go away. I don't know why it keeps popping up. And then right here is very interesting as well. Trump tweeted, captured a major leader of MS-13. Tom Homan's a superstar. 743. And then over here you have 743. End is near again. Now these are real drops from the Q-op back 2017, 2018, 2019. So you know what, guys? I don't care if you believe it or not. That's not what I'm trying to get at. I am saying it's very interesting. It's very interesting, and it should be noted, because pretty wild stuff how this is going down. But this is more proof that, if nothing else, like, we've got the exposure, we got Doge, we got the files dropping, we got declass, and then we have the justice is following right behind it. And Cash is already proving it. They are clearing these people out. Pam Bondi just caught a major pedophile from Florida that they're busted. They're deporting these guys left and right. They're catching the Tesla arsonists. And so I just don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear they're not doing anything. Pam Bondi's dragging her feet. She just wants to be on Fox News, blah, blah, blah. It's so stupid. I mean, what more do they have to do to prove it to you guys that they are actually getting stuff done? Now, it might not be exactly what you want yet, and I get that. That's, but listen, these things take time. They take time to do it right. We're a system where if you get arrested, you are still innocent until proven guilty. That is our system. And I know we all wish justice moved more swiftly. We do, because, sometimes you just know. And when you just know, you're like, damn it, let's do it. Just make it happen. But that's not our system. And you know why our system isn't that way? Because if you got busted and you were innocent, you would then be really happy the system's slow, and the system has to work up all the evidence to actually put you away. That's why we have the system, because it protects the actual innocent people. And so that means sometimes the guilty people, it takes a little longer with them, but that's okay, because it protects innocent. Obviously we know there's rigged stuff. I'm not pretending there's not, but the point is it's designed to make it hard to send people away. And that's okay. That's okay. Let me catch up with a couple stuff and then we'll get going. We'll move it on. Randy Lochtfeld says, El Salvador has capital punishment. Send all MS-13 back to El Salvador for justice. Amen. Amen. Let them go rot in those horrific prisons. How long before a judge demands him to be released as hero? Oh, God. Hopefully never. But nowadays, who knows? Who knows? Cash is Jason Bourne. If Jason Bourne had leadership skills. Randy Albert says, FYI, I heard today Trump tried to call the so-called Prime Minister of Canada, and Carney told his staff he would call Trump back in a few days. This is not Canadian. Yeah, and there was the other guy who called out and said like, we want Americans to suffer economically with our tariffs or something. Yeah, Canada is trying to act tough. We'll see how well that goes for them. You know, they're just insane. Brett's reminding everybody, please hit the like, hit the subscribe if you're new. I appreciate it. I really do. It's a great way to support the channel. Help me beat YouTube's algorithm, which hates conservative MAGA news. So please help that. And then if you want to support the channel, you can join. It's only $3 a month. It means you just got to give up one 7-Eleven latte, machine latte. You know, just give up one a month and you can be a part of our members' lives in Discord. And so it's all I ask. It's $3 a month, and you can support the channel. So thank you for that. And of course, super chats, all that is welcome as well. Lee86 writes, Ace, you've become my go-to for news I don't know. Current news moves too fast. Thank you much. I'll appreciate that, Lee. I really do. You know, I'm a news junkie, political junkie, and so I like doing these breakdowns, but it means a lot to me that you use the show as your main source at the end of the day. That's awesome. And that's a huge compliment, and I don't take it lightly. Thank you so much. Bruce Heitman says it's like a dream after a long nightmare. Oh, I completely agree about that. It's what movie is that? I can't remember what movie it is, but it's like a dream. Anyways, Randy Albert says, remember, the louder ones are the ones worried about their own prosecution. 100% agree with that. Okay, let's move on. We got even more good stuff happening because we're winning. We're winning so freaking hard. Can you feel it? Don't get caught up in the nonsense. Don't get caught up in the stupid signal gate they're pushing. That's not going to change anything unless you let it get to you. Don't get caught up in that. Don't get caught up in the nonstop approval polls they try to throw at us, the special elections that sometimes don't go our way. Don't get caught up in any of that. We are winning, and we are winning culture. And if we don't take our foot off the gas, we're going to still lose battles here and there, but we've won the war and we are securing victory. And that's what we're going to keep doing. Okay. So do not stop. Do not stop. I always acknowledge the junkiness, junkie. All right. I don't know if you guys have watched, and I recommend highly. I can't talk about it because YouTube censors me if I talk about that, but somehow they let Joe Rogan have this amazing woman on talking about vaccines, and it's one of the best Rogan shows he's ever done. It's unbelievable. If you haven't listened to the science on that stuff, listen to that episode. It came out yesterday. Go to Rogan, biggest podcast in the world, and listen to it. But going along with that, RFK Jr. announced today, everything is going to change with CDC vaccine policy. He says none of the vaccines given during the first 6 months of life have ever been tested for autism. The only one was a DTaP vaccine. And for that one study that was done, according to National Academy of Sciences, found that there was a link. Quote, I'm quoting YouTube. I'm quoting it. Quote, they threw out that study because it was based upon CDC surveillance system VAERS, and they said that system is no good. That begs the question, why doesn't CDC have a functional surveillance system? We're going to make sure they do. Anyways, it goes on. Just huge, excellent news from RFK. He's not afraid to go there. And that's what I love. And that's why I wanted him in there. And look, the guy is a little lefty from me on many things, but you know what? We can have real disagreements. And this is what Democrats and Republicans used to do, at least regular people once. We used to have our disagreements and we just went on with it. We were just like, cool, we disagree, but we'll get along. That's what used to happen. Now it's character assassination if you disagree. You know what? RFK and I have serious disagreements on many areas, whether it's environmentalism, gun control, climate, whatever, lots of lefty issues. But I believe he's a good man, and I believe he cares about the health of our nation, and him being in charge of HHS is amazing. And this is where I want somebody like him who hates the institutions and is willing to go after them. So excellent news there from RFK. And then even more on HHS. Well, I'll let Bobby tell. No, I won't let Bobby tell us. It's a 6-minute clip. That's way too long. But there's his beautiful 70-year-old face, good-looking man. He says HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy announced he's cutting 20,000 employees from the agency. and the creation of AHA, the Administration for Healthy America. Old components of HHS being cut, merged, and off from efficiency. 28 divisions are going down to 15. This is what we want. This is what we voted for. More efficiency, more accountability, and a government that actually gets the done. This is just amazing. I'm so happy. Mason again with another super chat. Says DM'd the interview of Caitlin Collins getting wrecked. All right. Well, let's just maybe we can go ahead and look at that. What do you think? Should we do it? Should we go look at Caitlin Collins getting wrecked? How long is this clip? Moose, how long are you sending me a clip? Let's see here. Sorry, it doesn't want me to play it yet. Give me... Hold on a sec. All right, it depends how long it is, Moose, whether I'll play it or not. First, so all right, waiting for that to go away. I know I'm keeping everybody in great suspense right here. 2 minutes, okay, I'll play a 2-minute one. If it's Caitlin Collins getting wrecked, I'll play it for 2 minutes. That's worth it. That's worth it. Randy Albert says, "Preach it." I will. I don't know what I was preaching, but I'll preach. I get away. I get preachy sometimes. The old minister in me. Brett says, "Like a dream waking up with the landlord buying from Kingpin." Right. That's so true. All right, here we go. All right, Moose. This one's for you, brother. This one's for you. And for all of us, because Caitlin Collins getting wrecked.
You undoubtedly do not want to signal. Is this something that you use? Well, Caitlin, Sonia, you undoubtedly do not want to talk about the VA. I have a question as VA Secretary. As Cabinet, I want to ask you, because I've been curious about this, because my job is to take care of veterans, and I would like to know why CNN is hostile to veterans, especially one in Florida, where you just had a $5 million defamation suit taking offense at a veteran who was trying to help people. In fact, one of your employees actually said, "We're going to nail him." I have a question for you, Caitlin. Is that employee still employed? Are you really concerned about veterans? So if we don't want to talk about veterans now, you want to talk about everything else, I'd like to hear from CNN as the Veteran Cabinet Secretary why CNN seems to have a problem with veterans.
Well, Mr. Secretary, respectfully, my question was about whether or not you as a member of the cabinet use this. And respectfully, I'm conducting the investigation. And I do have a lot of questions for you on Veterans Affairs, but I don't think it would be unwarranted to ask.
What you want to do is talk about a subject I've already answered. And if you want to continue this like this, that's fine. But there are VA employees who are working very hard. There are veterans who get their care from the VA and they get their benefits from the VA. And it does me no good to speculate on something that I've already asked and answered. So I've asked and answered your question. Why don't you answer mine? Are you still, is this person still employed who said they were going to nail one of my veterans?
Oh, wow. Okay. So it says a jury found CNN committed defamation against U.S. Navy. Zachary Young responsible for. Anyways, that was a good clip. Caitlin Collins getting wrecked. I'm always here for it. Absolutely. Love it. Randy Albert with the $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Randy. Love it. Alan loved that clip as well. James says, speaking of Signalgate, which is what they were talking about, how in the heck did a leftist reporter who was on anyone's contact list end up in a group chat? By the way, not just a leftist reporter. Jeffrey Goldberg, the most leftist, the most hateful Trump person who covers Trump and from the Atlantic, he was one of the main people behind the Russiagate coverage, creating and fabricating stories to attack Trump. And on top of that, he also freaking he goes all the way back to the Bush administration, pushing weapons of mass destruction. He's a hardcore leftist, but also a neocon. Explain that one to me. He's wild. So yeah, how did he of all people get stuck in there? It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And I think we're going to find out that it was a setup, that somebody in the Trump administration, some low-level person who probably works for or was hired by one of the cabinet people, that's who did it, because they probably weren't as vetted. But anyways, I think it was a setup. I absolutely do. In fact, there's a great thread on X breaking down some of the timestamps that don't really match up. And it seems to be that it might even be possible that Goldberg wasn't even actually in the chat, that he was sent the screenshots, which makes it even worse. So we're going to find out. Holy cow. Are you serious? Moose Knuckle just donated 50 freaking subscriptions to my channel memberships. Wow, Moose, that is unbelievable, sir. Are you kidding me? Well, again, congrats on getting your dream job. But wow, I can't even read off all these people. But Moose, that is amazing. So of all these people, 50 people now, memberships, new members into the wow. You guys now can go back. You can watch the members live from last night and other ones, and also get the link for the Discord. It's on. It's posted, and jump into the Discord with us. That is awesome, Moose. Wow, thank you, man. That is huge. That's absolutely huge. Jeez. Brett says, "Holy moly, I'm restraining on the expletives to Moose." That is amazing, Moose. Thank you. Wow. He is awesome. Moose is in a good mood tonight. Moose, is that what you want? Was that a test? Were you just holding that one back and you were like, listen, if he plays that clip, oh my God, I got something for him. Is that what was it? Did I pass the test? Am I the old man at the end of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade? I did it. I passed the test. Wow. Thank you, Moose. Thank you so much. Okay. I got a few more stories I want to cover. A couple of these, obviously the SEC chair, that one's coming up. And yeah, just, all right, let's see. I can skip this one. I'm going to cover the SEC chair, and yeah, I definitely want to cover this. Okay. So a couple of other things, guys. And then we'll be out of here tonight. Mason says, promoting CNN and Caitlin getting wrecked. We love you, Moose. And wow. And listen, not everybody has to do what Moose did to support the channel, but you guys can like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Seven Norseman asks, what's the implications of the CNN interview? Just enjoy watching Caitlin Collins get wrecked. That's really what it was all about. And Moose was happy. So I made Moose happy. That means something. All right. Okay, let's keep moving. All right. Just another, I'm not going to play the clip because it's getting late, but if you guys don't follow Peter St. Ong on his economic stuff, he's unbelievable. Super good stuff. I highly recommend following him on X. He did a video today with Ed Dowd, brilliant economist, popular writer out there, says warns of a short but deep recession as deportations and Doge/government spending. That is exactly what we've been expecting, by the way, that short but deep recession. What have I been telling you guys for 2 years? That this would be fast. If Trump was in when it happens, it would be hard, but fast, because he'll turn around fast. And so now I'm not the only one seeing it, which is awesome that I'm getting the experts on my side. But then he says it could be the biggest government recession since World War II demobilization. So not quite 1929, but still a big one. And then usher the biggest golden age since the 50s. Again, if you guys watch this show, you get this stuff first. I'm just telling you. I say this stuff first, and then the experts catch up to me. Isn't that fun? So just remember that. If you're watching the Ace Report, you are 3 to 6 months ahead of everybody else. I'm just telling you. Who was the first one to say JD Vance is VP? This guy. I didn't hear it anywhere else. I said it last March. This guy said it. I said JD Vance. I said Kamala was going to be the replacement, no Michelle Obama, when lots of people were throwing that out. I did say I thought Biden might stay in. I got that one wrong. But to be fair, there was at least a major debate about it, okay? It wasn't like the Democrats had it fully figured out. But I told you guys Trump was going to win and all the reasons he was going to win. So there's so many things. When it comes to politics, I'm just 3 to 6 months ahead. That's how it is. So on this, I think this is exactly what we're going to see. And I think it's going to be this year. I think it's going to be preceded by a stock market crash. You could argue we're in a recession already. But when it really goes, it's really going to go, and it's going to be fast and hard. But I believe Trump is doing two things right now. He's being wild with the markets with tariffs on, tariffs off. He's destabilizing the markets so that they do shake and break because he knows they need to. And then he's also putting everything into place so that we go through the recession, we go down just like a roller coaster and right back up within a few months. I think the recession, however bad it could be, I think it'll be at least it could be as short as 6 painful months, as long as 18. But either way, with as bad as this is going to be, both of those situations will be relatively short. Think about the great financial crisis. That one lasted several years. The Great Depression lasted like a decade almost. So this one will be relatively short either way, whether it's 6 to 18 months. But I believe it'll be somewhere in there. All right, one more thing, and then I'm going to end on the SEC nomination stuff, okay? Because, you'll see why in a minute. All right, this was a big story. Actually, you know what? Let me catch up with the comments first before I move on. Augustin Vasquez asked, would this recession trigger margin calls? I believe so. Absolutely. Especially a crash. Moose says, anyone who got a gift, go smash the like button. Thank you, Moose. Yeah. So if you got it, smash that like and make sure you're subscribed. Drew says, hey, got a lot of love around here for real. This love's legit. Support not like the liberals. They pay for their support and love. That's right. They do. They pay for bots to pump their videos. I've proven it to you guys, haven't I? I've proven it to you. I was ahead. That's another thing I was ahead on. I was already talking about the Daily Wire and some of these leftist people with their bots. And guess what? All that's falling apart now too. So yeah, I got it. Nostradamus. There you go. Brett says, thank God I was wrong about Biden saying it. Amen. Fro Girl says 5-0, new record. Biggest ace hole of the night is Moose. Amen to that. I'm getting too much right. Am I a Fed? Yeah, maybe. Shh, don't say it. Butter says, no, if I was a Fed, I'd have much more views because they would be pumping him. They would be getting, I would be in the millions on subscribers, and I'd be getting like 50,000 views a night from a bunch of bots, but also a lot of support filtering stuff to me. That's just how it works. That's how it works. Not everybody. There's a lot of organic channels that are huge. Don't get me wrong. Just because you're successful doesn't mean it was bought and paid for, but a lot of them are. A lot of them are. Butter says, I don't know if I said out loud, I wanted JD, totally knew he was. When the SEC would not approve DWAC DJT, group of shareholders went to DC's and JD's met with them. Wow. I love it, man. He won me over, says Butters. So good. Randy Buck, Trump flags. Media says, Ace, we would have New Jersey and Wisconsin election. I would have had $10,000 super chat. Oh, man. Trump crushed me. Kit says, this is going to be the softest hard landing of all time. Play the game. Top half of the first inning. Kit, I could not agree with you more, man. You're so true. Thank you, Randy. You're very nice. Only prescriptions, more margin calls. The Feds don't get anything right at all, says Drew. Well, you know, the Daily Wire is not lefty. They are just, they are Republican establishment, and they are pushed by big money. So Ace was right about everything. T-shirts. Oh man, no, I'll leave those to Trump. He's too good at. Oh, by the way, members, I am working on that merch we talked about, so we'll get that out. Okay, let me finish on these last two stories. This was a fun one, I thought, and interesting on the timing. So we got all this Israel stuff going on, and we have a lot of people saying Trump is controlled. He's a Zionist. Him and JD and this administration is controlled by Israel, blah, blah, blah. Just stupid. Okay. And I've told you guys why it's stupid. Well, here's some really solid proof it's stupid. So JD Vance posted this today. They ran a hit piece on JD in a Jewish magazine. Okay. Attacking him. Jewish Insider, it's called. Why would they do that if the administration is Zionist controlled? Ask yourselves that. Makes you go hum, right? You know, it makes no sense. So JD responds to it. He says, this morning, Josh Koshar ran a hit piece against, by the way, Josh Koshar, big Zionist. Okay. Big Zionist dude. Lots of stuff Anyways, connections to Israel, blah, blah, blah. Ran a hit piece against me in Jewish Insider, which become an anti-JD rag. It has many problems, including 7 anonymous quotes from cowardly Republicans. You guys, anonymous quotes from cowardly Republicans. These are Republicans that are controlled by globalists, which filter a lot of stuff through Israel. But the most glaring factual errors are below, which says the Houthis killed 3 Americans last January. Actually, the group responsible for that attack was Islamic Resistance in Iraq, which is an entirely different militia group. And you might say there's evidence of Khashoggi being the biggest hack in Washington. You may be correct. He's like Trump, but better with words. Another very plausible explanation. He's the dumbest journalist in Washington. Anyway, either way, shocking an error like this could get through his vaunted editorial process. So I wanted to share that because I'm tired of the nonsense, the trend right now. That's like, it's the crazy lefties, or the crazy Israel is the devil of everything, which you never go full Israel's the devil, and you also never go full Israel can do no wrong. Both sides are crazy. Okay, you want to be in the middle. All right. But that full side of Israel's the devil and controls the world, which makes a lot of sense from a nation that was created like less than 100 years ago, by the way. But that whole side is like Zionists, the Trump administration, Zionists, and it's so stupid. So I thought that was good proof. Moose, are you just showing off tonight, man? 10 more. My God. Thank you, bro. That's awesome. Lee, you made it in, man. Oh, that's a different Lee. Lee too made it in. On site, you're in now. That's awesome. Dude, Moose, you're killing it. All right, Michael, I will pray for your back at the end when we do our prayers. All right, buddy. All right. Finally, last story of the night, guys. Brett says you can also say you can never go full retard. I'm a moderator. I won't blog it. Not only can you say it, we invite that kind of talk here. We are very pro 90s slang, which means you are fully allowed to say retard and or faggot. And it doesn't mean anything bad. It just means you're dumb. We are full supporters of 90s slang on the Ace Report. Never go full, Ian Carroll, says Jordan. Yeah, Ian Carroll is so good on so many things, but that is just a blind spot the man has. All right. Last thing tonight, guys. I wanted to share. So first of all, the SEC confirmation today was it was kind of a big nothing burger. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but the good news is this. It's a shoo-in. He's going to get in. Paul Atkins is going to get in, and he was great. And the few things he actually got to answer, he was great. This is how you know it's a shoo-in. He's going to get right in his SEC chair, and it's not going to be a big deal at all. And I can guarantee it. And this is how, because the hearing was not even 2 hours long, and they had 4 people up there. It was the SEC chair, it was the deputy treasury director, it was 2 others, some public transport one, something else. 4 guys they were doing a hearing for at the same time. Now, Paul Atkins got most of the attention because the SEC chair is the biggest position out of the 4. But when they bring into the banking committee 4 people at once and they don't even give them 2 hours, they're basically saying like, we're just checking this off. So I'll tell you what happened explosively. Elizabeth Warren just went off on him, was total word I don't want to use in case kids are watching. But she's just awful. And so there was that. The Democrats grilled him. They tried to blame him for 2008 financial crisis because he was an SEC, not a chairman. He was something else at that time, but he was in the SEC without that much power. But they were trying to blame that on him, trying to go after him for his views. But he held his ground. He was great. I think Paul Atkins is going to be an amazing SEC chair. But I did get the best highlight of the night. And that is this from Bernie Moreno right here. The new senator from Ohio had an awesome, you guys who've been in this fight against the SEC, you'll appreciate this one. Here's Bernie.
I'll start with you, Mr. Atkins. Man, you got You just have to be able to breathe and not be a complete raging lunatic, and you're going to be the greatest SEC commissioner compared to the last guy. I mean, congratulations on coming after Gary Gensler, who objectively probably was one of the stupidest people in government. I'll start with you, Mr. Atkins. Man, you got...
Hold on, we got to just hear it one more time at the end here. So great. Gary Gensler.
I mean, congratulations on coming after Gary Gensler, who objectively probably was one of the stupidest people in government.
Objectively one of the stupidest people in government. So all of us that can't stand rat-faced Gensler, that was great. The Republicans loved him. All that matters is he gets the Republicans' votes. He's going to be in. I think he'll either be in by the end of next week or the following week. I think they're just going to push him through real quick, and then we have our SEC chair. And then the markets can start getting interesting. Give it a few days while he gets situated. But these people are being put in place to work fast. Look at how much Bessent and Lutnick are already doing for the economy as Commerce and Treasury secretaries. They're out there doing the fight, getting stuff done, and promoting the deal. Look what Cash and Bondi are doing on the justice side. These and what RFK is doing on the health side. These people are moving fast. The Trump team is here to work. They are here to get stuff done. And I have no reason to doubt that Paul Atkins is going to get into the SEC and he's going to start moving things fast. So it's going to be exciting. I have strong feelings. Now, they didn't talk about naked shorting, but they did talk about several of the issues in the markets and the ways retail is screwed. So I think he's well aware, and I think very good things are going to come soon. KJB asked, the facts they don't oppose him is concerning. He's going to be another GG. No, the Democrats are opposing him, KJB. Don't get me wrong. When I said the Republicans will put him through, and the Republicans, you got to understand right now, the Republicans are putting everybody through that Trump is pushing. And the reason why is because it's because they're afraid of Trump. They're afraid. They know the Republican base is now all MAGA. In fact, this was crazy. They did a poll on ideology across the nation. And so people were like liberal, conservative, all this stuff, libertarian. 36% of the nation identifies as MAGA. That's more than 1 out of every 3 people. That is one of the highest affiliations of ideology ever recorded in American history. We are MAGA nation now. And if 36% of America considers themselves MAGA, that means that almost 100% of the Republicans consider themselves MAGA. It's got to be in the 90s, which means these senators, these Congress people have no prayer of staying in power if they don't do what we want them to do. They are stuck. Trump has fundamentally remade the Republican Party, and it will never be the same. So if you worry that sometimes even the crooked Republicans are voting for Trump's people, it doesn't mean it's bad. It just means they know they have no choice. In fact, this is a great time to talk. I wasn't going to talk about this, but it's real quick. Trump endorsed Lindsey Graham again. Now, none of us like Lindsey Graham, correct? I mean, we all know he's a sleazeball. He's a pervert. He's a gay pervert. He's really, some of the stuff we know about Lindsey is disgusting. But here's the deal. Why would Trump endorse him then? Because Lindsey is fully under Trump's control. He votes for Trump all the time, and the only time he ever questions him is when it comes to neocon crap, where it doesn't matter because Trump's commander-in-chief and controls it all anyways. Lindsey Graham goes on all the shows and promotes Trump's agenda. He is lockstep, a guarantee to win his seat in South Carolina, and he's a guarantee to be a vote and a check to keep the agenda moving forward. So why would Trump endorse him? Because you don't screw up in war. And this, believe it or not, we're in a war. We're in a war against this deep state. We are taking them down. We are fundamentally, this is the second American Revolution. You and I are living it, except that this time the revolution is being fought on TV. It's being fought on the internet. But this is the second American Revolution we are going through right now. This is the most fundamental restructuring of our government since it was instituted. By the time it's done, Elon said it today in the interview, and I believe it. That's what we're going through right now. So when you're in war, you don't screw up your allies, even if those allies are not 100% perfect. You get the job done, and then you go and then you get rid of them. And that's how it works. So that's what's going on in the Republican Party, and why I have no issues with Trump, with Trump endorsing Lindsey Graham, even though I do not like the man at all. All right. Anything else I can catch up with before we go tonight? Norseman says 2 years too long. Need my money. Completely agree with you. Kit says push through the MMTLP NBH settlement and dismantle FINRA. Amen. Let's see it happen. Moose, are you kidding me, brother? You are in a good mood tonight, Moose. I'm very very indebted to you, grateful to you. Thank you tonight. You blew the socks off the my whole support system tonight by supporting so much. So thank you. And I know that the new 75 members are going to be very grateful to you. You became this month's Alan and hero, and just, you guys have been amazing. So many of you guys have been so great at supporting me. All the members, I tell you guys all the time, thank you so much. You guys make it happen. So very appreciated, Moose. Texas Lone Star says Bret is point lots of zeros. 2138644. Senator Warren's IQ. I believe so. I do. Yes, and her blood level of being an Indian. We can still say Indian, right? I don't know. We can say retard. We can say faggot. Yeah, we're bringing Indian back too. I'm going to say it. Anyways, this is not PC culture. This is MAGA culture. We're going to have some fun. All right. Love you guys. Let's end in a prayer. I know that, oh man, who was it that asked for, Michael Anthony asked for prayers for his back tonight. So going to pray for that as well as our nation. Please like, share, subscribe before you leave. I greatly appreciate it. Let's get those likes up as high as we can. And again, if you want to join in the membership with all these new people, get in on the Discord, get in on the members' lives. Join, hit that join button and be a part of it. $3 a month. That's it. So thank you guys. All right, let's end the night. So reflecting and giving God the glory. All right, Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for all you're doing, God. Thank you for this amazing group of people, not only in this community, the best community on YouTube, but also in our government, what's happening, God. And thank you for their boldness. Thank you for the justice that we're starting to see. And we just ask for more. We want it seen all the way through. I believe, God, that you never stop what you start. And I believe this is your hand acting through Trump and the men and women working with him. And so, God, we just pray that you finish what you've started in our nation with justice, with exposure and everything else. And just that the next 3 years and 10 months are just beyond what we could ever believe actually got accomplished. So we thank you for that. We pray protection over them and wisdom for them as they carry forward. And God, I just pray for Michael Anthony, Lord. I pray that, Lord, right now you just reach your hands onto his back, God, that he would even just feel the warmth of your healing on him right now, Lord, in Jesus' name. And that, God, his back would straighten up, pain would go away in the name of Jesus, and he would feel much better. And for anybody in this chat dealing with disease, sickness, pain, that you would just be with them, Lord, bless them, and bring them wholeness. And I pray that wholeness also for their families, their relationships, and their finances. And I pray, God, that we finally start seeing the breakthrough that so many people have been fighting for financially in the markets and everywhere else, God. In Jesus' name as we move forward. Thank you, Jesus. Bless this group. Amen. All right. Love you guys. You are the absolute best. Sorry, Kit, about the buffering. That is really strange. Hopefully the replay works better for you. It looks like nobody else had an issue, so that's good. All right, God bless you guys. Have a great night. Moose, thanks for stealing the show tonight. Had a lot of fun with you. You are awesome, brother. And I promise I will definitely play your clips from now on. You guys have a great night. And hey, it's the end of the month, coming into next week. Depending on the news, you guys might see me a couple times this weekend. All right. So God bless. See you guys soon. Take care. Good night.